So, I don't think I need to tell you that 1992 and 1993 were huge years for Barney. When you've got what you call an Elvis year, the sheer amount of popularity speaks for itself. Barney's purple trail blazed through plenty of places during this time, but there was one in particular where he really left his mark. A spot, if you will. I'm of course talking about JCPenney's Barney Spot, a merchandising hotspot in the children's division of the national department store chain that first took the world by storm in 1992. While iconic in of itself, the story of how the Barney Spot came to be is actually a fairly familiar one, with more than a few parallels harkening back to the tale of the rise of Barney himself. We start the way all Barney things seem to, from within the ranks of the Mom Blitzers, creator Cheryl Leach's own backyard gang of 18 local mothers in the Allen, Texas area, who tried to spread the word about Barney any way they could. One such Blitzer, Nancy Leckover, made up to 50 calls a day to JCPenney to try and convince them of Barney's marketability. The tenacity of the Mom Blitzer caught the attention of Jackie Dunn, project manager of special events at JCPenney, who took the Barney tapes that had been sent in the mail and distributed them, per Nancy's instructions, to fellow co-workers in the department who had young kids at home. One such tape ended up on the desk of Henry Scott, the then president of the children's division at JCPenney. After a less than enthusiastic reaction from his associates, Henry took the tape home to his grandson Max, who genuinely surprised him with his sheer enthusiasm for the character. It was this strong reaction that helped him realize that Barney's true magic needed to be seen through, quote, the eyes of a child, and helped the director convince JCPenney to move forward with the Barney project before the show debuted in April 1992. By May of that year, both Barney plush and videos were available in JCPenney stores, with theme clothing items coming a little later. These offerings would grow to a total of 187 different Barney products being made available in both catalogs and in the new, so-called Barney Spots that most of the larger stores would have by October. Some merch highlights? Barney's Magical Musical Adventure was released as a JCPenney exclusive video in August, while one of the first Barney books, Just Imagine, was released as an exclusive in October. Barney himself would appear at a myriad of store locations in various malls across the country. If anything was clear by the fall of '92, it was that JCPenney was the place to be for Barney fans. By December, crowds upwards of 40,000 fans had gathered to see Barney live at JCPenney stores in some instances. People couldn't get enough, and supply was often an issue in the weeks leading up to the Christmas season. But this didn't deter the near-constant growth, and in this December 14th article from Vineland, New Jersey's The Daily Journal, it was clear big things were still on the way for Barney. More on that later. In less than a year, Barney had become the #1 seller for the entire JCPenney company, including in-store and via the catalog. I cannot begin to overstate how huge that is. A staggering 2.2 million Barney plush and puppets alone were expected to be sold in 1992. With such exponential growth, some growing pains are to be expected. By 1993, crowds at Barney's live appearances at JCPenney stores and elsewhere were becoming a real safety concern and often had to be canceled, much to the dismay of those attending. Unofficial Barney costume appearances were happening with such frequency that the Lions Group would publish these PSAs in local newspapers informing fans where official Barney events would take place and to report these faux events. Undeterred, Barney would soon appear at the stores in a new, unique way. Utilizing the Barney theaters, TVs on display in varying configurations, Barney and friends could now visit hundreds of stores via exclusive, special satellite broadcasts that were pre-recorded at JCPenney's headquarters in Dallas, Texas. The first of these live events would be held on May 4th, starting at 9 a.m. in more than 1,000 JCPenney stores across the country, with some stores holding repeat showings the same day. The turnout was nothing if not big, with 200 in attendance at a New Jersey location and over 700 who registered to attend the indoor Picnic and a Show in California. Some stores really went all out and served breakfast and held giveaways after the event. While it's tough to know everything that the approximately 40-minute show consisted of, news clips from the time seemed to show segments of the Barney in the Backyard Gang video, Barney in Concert, and a specially recorded I Love You performance starring Barney and a group of kids to finish out the program. Barney hype at JCPenney continued strongly throughout 1993, with many stores now holding entire weeks, known rather obviously as Barney Weeks, dedicated to the purple dinosaur. From carrying themed Easter baskets to coloring contests and even a whole sponsored food drives for charity, there was a lot going on. One of my favorite Barney Week highlights comes from the Paducah Sun in Paducah, Kentucky, advertising a game called Hide the Baby Bop. I don't know what it is, but I can't help but to laugh imagining a swarm of Barney fans and their folks scouring the store for a Baby Bop plush in the swarm of plush they must have already had out on display. Fall of '93 arrived with a flurry of activity and news for Barney. That article I mentioned a while back that was teasing a new character finally came through in the form of BJ, Baby Bop's then 6-year-old Protoceratops big brother. Though he made his on-screen Barney and Friends debut on October 8th with the airing of Look at Me, I'm 3, BJ had actually debuted earlier at the Game Day Sports Cafe in Plano, Texas for the Barney and Friends new season celebration and at the ever-iconic A Day at Shea Stadium event. I cannot recommend checking Bob West's video about it enough. At the same time, in collaboration with both JCPenney and the American Library Association, the exclusive video, Love to Read with Barney, was filming new scenes for this clip show release at the Allen, Texas Public Library. Though the video was only intended to be distributed to libraries, JCPenney had another event in the works to showcase it. On November 6th, the Love to Read with Barney sing-along was broadcast across JCPenney stores. The event was hosted by the JCPenney Christmas Bear, and in some instances, a librarian was present to sign up the kids in attendance for their very own library cards. Similar to the May 4th presentation, Barney items were handed out and giveaways were held for hopeful fans, and repeat showings were held in the days following. With '93 drawing to a close, JCPenney set their sights on the horizon of 1994. But that, as they say, is a bedtime story for another day. There's something bizarrely special about watching the really wild growth of Barney as a franchise through the lens of just one store. The parallels between Barney making it on TV and with a major department chain are really fascinating. All it took was the simple but genuine love for Barney from kids to convince the higher-ups of his merit. While the appearance of a live Barney is always a special one, I think JCPenney really had it right with these exclusive broadcasts serving as the next best thing. If you'll notice, both of these events were signed in ASL by an interpreter. It's always nice to see this kind of inclusion, doubly so back in the 90s. A big thank you to a fellow Barney History Fans member who uploaded a recording of the 1993 CBS show How'd They Do That's episode chronicling Barney's rise for the first section of research for this video. If you want to learn more or contribute something you know, don't hesitate to reach out to either Barney History Fans or my friends over at Barney Wiki. Thanks for watching!